Persona 3 Reload has just received some incredible shocking news that will surely surprise you. Some big changes from the original game and some new additions to make it feel like a new experience in a familiar world. So let's get straight into the details. Here are 8 new details we know about Persona 3 Reload. Shoutouts to MBKKSSTBH6HC5. I'm not exactly sure how to say that, but thanks to them for translating a certain interview where a few producers talked about the game. So first point is there's a lot more voice lines in this game compared to the other series. It's actually the most voice lines there have ever been in a Persona game. And a main reason behind that is because all of the social links are now voiced. So, that's a really big deal because in the other games, they were mostly text and you read, but now you'll be able to hear all of them, which I think is really cool because one thing I always thought was that Persona 5 would really benefit from more vocal speaking lines for social events like that. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. They said that it really adds a lot more depth to the stories. Also, keep note, I'm a little sick, so sorry if my voice sounds a bit different. Second point, Tartarus. So Tartarus has definitely got a big upgrade. It's not the same place you once knew, and it's not going to be exactly the same kind of vibe it was once before, because now they've added certain details to make it a bit more intriguing. Yes, it's still going to be randomly generated, and it's going to be as many floors as it was in the original, but they added small things to kind of like keep it interesting. Also, like things you can break, kind of like in Persona 5, like you break the pods and get items and stuff like that. And they have also unique conversations between the cast as you explore, so that it never gets kind of like, I guess, quiet. You always got something going on, just talk about life and all that. There's also a dash feature, so you can get around the place and you can avoid shadows if you want. So you don't have to like kind of sneak around the corners so they don't see you anymore. And just to make it clear, the main reason why they couldn't really do Persona 5 type dungeons for Persona 3 is because Persona 3's story literally revolves around Tartarus. So they just tried their best in order to make it a more appealing experience, and they used the power of Unreal Engine to do so. Number three, get it? Persona 3. No fatigue system. If you remember in the original game, team members would get sick, and for a few days they wouldn't. I'm struggling to say this line. One sec. Sick like me. I'm using so many freaking tissues to get that. Team members would get sick, and they wouldn't be available for a few days. They didn't want to allow more stress on the player, especially since they didn't want to put a restriction on how much they wanted to do in Tartarus, and more freedom that way. That was kind of messy. This is the most I talked in a few days, so don't mind me. All right, number 4, side stories. Now, this is a pretty big one. Like I said before, all social links are now voiced, and they also brought back the same social links from the original game. And I'm not sure if they'll change them a little bit in order to, like, I guess, update them, but yeah, I guess it's all going to be the same social links. So that brings up one other problem, is the fact that the male main characters don't have social links in the original. So with that fact noted, in order to compromise for that, they added these side stories so that the main character can, I guess, bond with them in a new, different way from other Persona games that expresses their personalities and the relationship with the main character in a different way. They couldn't specifically say what yet, but I assume like there'll be like kind of like things that happen on the side, kind of like social links, but more of a, I guess, cohesive story. I don't know. But we'll know more about it soon. It's also much easier to max out all social links in one playthrough. They said it's still slightly difficult, but I'm considering after all the work they've done to the social links, they want you to be able to see it all, since most people play the first playthrough. But that's just my guess. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe for more Persona 3 Reload news. I definitely want to try covering a game. I'm trying to see what kind of fits me as a creator, and any support from you guys would mean so much to me, especially as me as a growing creator. And in the Persona 3 space, one of my favorite games of all time, I would greatly appreciate it. So please subscribe, join the Threefold Amigos, and learn more about Persona 3 Reload with me. Anyways, back to the video. Number 5, respect to the original game. So the developers worked hard to make sure that Persona 3 Reloads respects the original game by keeping that feel that Persona 3 has. including modern overhauls introduced in Persona 5. Is it going to be too much like Persona 5? Don't worry about it, because these people love and respect the original game. Okay, they're going to do it justice. Don't worry. I hope. They seem quite confident in what makes the game work, the certain vibes, what they need to balance in order to do it right, how they need to write the characters. So I have all trust that, they know what they're doing. They also took different perspectives too. I think some of the original game developers are working on this remake, and some people that are working on the game weren't developers at the time the game came out, and they're using their perspective as a player to realize what can make the game better. I think having different perspectives like that will make the game an even better product, and more people will enjoy Persona 3 this way compared to the original game. They wanted to also ensure that it will be just as comically expressive as the original game. They were talking about how since the models are more realistic, they couldn't do certain quirks they did with the original models, like how they would fall in the butt in battle. So I think they had different ways of doing that to, I guess, preserve that aspect of the game. Now, number 6 for gameplay. Don't really have much to say about this, just that direct commands and AI commands are now available, kind of similar to other Persona games like 4 and 5. And also each member will be readjusted so that they can be equally effective in battle. So they'll be rebalanced. No more Marin Karin from Mitsuru, no more I won't miss and missing. I expect, I may be wrong, she might be missing all the time now. Literally no hits. Number 7, no Fez or portable content. Now, this is a pretty big one a lot of people are complaining about, which I understand, but I also understand Atlus's point too. So their main aspect is staying true to the original Persona 3, which is why they weren't focused on adding the answer nor female protagonists in Reload. But element from those games will be included, like I assume an Aegis social link that was not included in the original game. Small aspects like that. I know people are upset that, especially no female protagonists. I've seen that everywhere. But hey, I think, maybe they just wanted to first, I guess, remake the original game, and then from there, I don't know, they might do a DLC or they might just do a re-release. I think they're gonna do a re-release. This is Atlus. This is Atlus we're talking about. They're gonna do a re-release most likely. So in about 2 years or so, you'll have female protagonists and the answer. So I say don't be too upset about it. For the answer, they probably want to do a new spin on it, maybe make it even longer. If they can fix the answer, that would be great, because I'm not the biggest fan of the answer, but it definitely has potentiality. So I would like to see what they could do with it now with new advances in technology. So yeah, definitely some things I would like for them to do eventually, but I'm glad, well, not really glad, but I'm not surprised why they would want to focus on the original Persona 3 first. And last but not least, number 8, new locations revealed. So recently there was a Japanese trailer and we got small glimpses of Iwatodai Strip Mall. They showed the shrine and Tartarus. Well, we already seen Tartarus, but we saw new parts. I think it's a new block, and it's really nice. I like the little small things you can see in the background. It looks more lively than the original. All those dark corridors, no more of that, I guess. We have color now. It's a much more lively environment. I really like that. I can't wait to explore Tartarus again and literally the world all over again. I love Persona 3's world. It's just it feels like being at home, And we'll be there soon next year, early 2024, when we do hear more news at the next full moon on July 3rd and other full moons past that. I'm sure we'll see new characters, new story details. We already seen the story, but I mean new gameplay details, overall new details of the game. Okay, let's leave it at that. Anyways, this has been Persona 3 Reload. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet for more Persona 3 news, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.